Welcome to Eastern and Western Classical Wisdom Essence, where ancient knowledge meets modern curiosity. We explore timeless wisdom from both Eastern and Western philosophies, history, and cultural traditions, bringing you insightful discussions and fascinating discoveries. Join us as we unlock the secrets of the past to inspire the present and shape the future.
Exploring Feng Shui, Part 2. Why does Feng Shui work? Many people nowadays consider Feng Shui to be superstitious. For example, selecting a good burial spot for one's ancestors is believed to affect the fortunes of future generations. Although there are historical records of such practices, many modern people find it difficult to understand the underlying principles and therefore think it is unlikely. However, modern physics has discovered a connection between matter that transcends time and space. This is called quantum entanglement in quantum physics. To make a long story short, modern science born in the West is seemingly at odds with the ancient religions, philosophies, and alchemy that also originated in the West, but they have an inseparable internal connection. The Bible states that God created the universe, and on the first day, he said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Then, God created everything in the world for humans to live in, and on the sixth day, he created human beings. On the seventh day, God rested, but in reality, he created rest for humans, giving them the blessing of rest. People rest and thrive in the environment created by God, until today. With the development of modern science, humans have gained a better understanding of the universe. The humans born on the sixth day started studying what the light created on the first day was, and thus the strange science of quantum physics was born. This science has a huge impact on physics, philosophy, and religion today. According to the explanation of quantum physics, light is something that is both a wave and a particle, and this property is called wave-particle duality. Moreover, light has uncertainty, which means that if you determine its position, you cannot determine its velocity, and if you determine its velocity, you cannot determine its position. Scientists call this something that looks like a donkey or a horse from a traditional physics perspective, a quantum. In order to study it, scientists have established a new discipline called quantum physics. Many great figures have emerged in the field of quantum physics, and their strange and bizarre theories have made it increasingly difficult to distinguish between who is a scientist and who is a philosopher. For example, British scientist Penrose derived a theory of a multiverse, in which he claims that our universe is constantly splitting. And every time we observe, which is an idealistic term, it will split again. All split universes exist in parallel, so all possibilities exist at the same time. However, we only live in one of them and cannot feel the other universes. In other universes, Hitler may have beaten the United States in the race to build the atomic bomb. Kennedy may not have been assassinated, your parents may not have had the fruit of their love, and you may not even exist. There is a phenomenon in quantum physics that is very intriguing, called quantum entanglement. Physicists say that there is a non-local, non-classical, and strong correlation between two or more quantum systems. In plain language, no matter how far apart two particles are, the changes of one particle will affect the other particle, that is. Two particles can be as soulmates, without being affected by time and space, and they don't need any connection. This is like a fairy tale. No wonder quantum physicist Pauli said that quantum physics is a science born out of alchemy, and now it seems to be even more mysterious than alchemy. The seemingly absurd theories mentioned above are actual technological achievements, and many people have received Nobel Prizes for these strange ideas. You may not realize what these theories mean. In short, if the phenomenon of quantum entanglement is thoroughly researched, it may be possible for us today to change the history of the past or future by affecting certain things today. So, from the perspective of quantum theory, the miracles of ancient gods and wizards are not surprising at all. Some scholars abroad have also conducted research experiments related to Feng Shui. In Feng Shui, it is believed that a person is a combination of paternal essence and maternal blood, and there is a potential connection between them and their direct bloodline. It was said that there was an experiment in which several people's sperm was taken and placed in a place far away from them. Then, one of the people participating in the experiment was suddenly hit from behind, causing the person to be startled. As a result, the sperm of this person in the distant laboratory also showed a startled response. This experiment was broadcast on mainstream TV stations abroad and was watched by many people. Therefore, our current scientific research has broken through many barriers, and whether it is from a theoretical or practical experimental perspective, it can now scientifically prove that Feng Shui can work. The orthodox Chinese culture follows a different scientific path, which directly targets the universe, human body, and time and space, and develops science from the perspective of meditation and developing human potential. This is different from the empirical scientific path from the West, but even so, the correctness of Chinese culture can be verified using the theories and experiments of Western empirical science. The ancient Chinese philosophers had many insightful discussions about the wonderful nature and mysterious universe. For example, the Shitzi in the Book of Changes says, "There is nothing that is far or near, dark or profound, from which one cannot know the coming of things." What is there in the world that is more refined than this? This means that divination can predict future events, regardless of the distance or time. It is truly amazing that the way of the Book of Changes is so refined, and that the sages are so great. The Book of Changes has no thought and no action, and is still and motionless, but it is able to understand the cause of everything in the world. What is there in the world that is more divine than this? The Book of Changes has no form. If it had thought and action, it would have a form, and would not be the Book of Changes. Feeling means communicating with the heart, and through this, one can communicate with the heart of all things in the world. From the slightest movement of things to the most divine, everything moves naturally. From this, it can be seen that the modern cutting-edge scientific research in quantum physics theory and the description of the Book of Changes in China thousands of years ago are in perfect agreement. The laws of motion in quantum mechanics are identical to the laws described in the Book of Changes. 3. What is Feng Shui for? Taoism believes that this universe is composed of yin and yang. Like a Tai Chi, the three realms are only a partial scope of the universe, composed of the 5 elements. Therefore, the universe evolved into the 3 realms, and the yin and yang evolved into the 5 elements. The 5 elements are only suitable for the scope of the 3 realms. Beyond this scope, we must use the principles of yin and yang instead of the principles of the 5 elements to guide us. Just as life on Earth requires gravity, this scientific knowledge can only be true within the scope of the Earth. Beyond the Earth and into the solar system, it becomes a fallacy. In space or on other planets, people will experience weightlessness and float. Feng Shui is also called yin-yang studies in China, and Feng Shui masters are also called yin-yang masters in the folk. Can we infer from this that the source of Feng Shui is high, and at least the principles can be applied to this universe? Shakyamuni once said that the 4 elements of earth, water, fire, and wind make up all things in the material world. Using human as a metaphor, the skeleton and body are earth, the foundation that supports the entire life. Flowing fluids such as blood are water. The human body temperature is cleverly set at 37 degrees, 1 degree more or less cannot be tolerated. This is fire, and breathing is necessary for humans to live, which is wind. From the perspective of human understanding of the surface space, Feng Shui is also related to the 3 factors of wind, water, and earth in the 4 elements. Therefore, in terms of the scope of understanding of the universe by Shakyamuni, Feng Shui is also very high, occupying at least 3 elements. In other words, the source of Feng Shui is very high and can at least be applied to a large universe range known to Shakyamuni. Both Taoism and Shakyamuni talked about the relationship between human beings and the universe. In China, Feng Shui is classified as a minor practice in the world of Taoism. Taoist cultivation emphasizes the heavenly circuits and acupoints, and also emphasizes that the human body is a small universe. Many people know some knowledge about the circulatory system and acupoints of the human body to some extent, but it is difficult for ordinary people to know all the different types of heavenly circuits, meridians, and many acupoints that really exist in the human body. These have always been secrets that the cultivation world is not willing to easily disclose. Ancient China has been studying the mysteries between heaven and earth, and put forward the theory of a unity of heaven and man, i.e., the correspondence between heaven, earth, and human beings. The Tao Te Ching says, man follows the earth follows heaven. So, if this is the case, think about it, there should also be a heavenly circuit and acupoints in the sky. It's just that at this point, acupoints are no longer called acupoints, but are called divine positions, which is what Taoism often refers to as the heavenly officials of the heavenly circuit. Some say there are 365 of them, each corresponding to one of the 365 acupoints in the human body. The literal meaning of heavenly circuit refers to the circulation between heaven and earth, and if the human body has a heavenly circuit, then naturally heaven and earth must also have a heavenly circuit. Similarly, is Earth not also a universe system? Could Earth also be a living organism with meridians, cycles, and acupoints? In fact, from a certain perspective, Earth is also heaven and human. Heaven is also Earth and human. Humans are also Earth and heaven. For example, in traditional Chinese medicine, it is believed that the human body consists of 3 parts: heaven, earth, and human. The lower part of the human body is earth, the middle part is human, and the upper part is heaven. If the above theory is true, can we say that Feng Shui is an activity that explores the mysteries of the earth system? Whether it is called Kinyu, Geomancy, Xing Fa, or Feng Shui, although the names may be different, they are fundamentally about exploring the mysteries of the universe with Earth as the primary reference coordinate. The theory that has developed from this process is called Feng Shui, and the specific methods used in this process are called Feng Shui techniques. Furthermore, as this process is combined with the practice of returning to one's true self, it is also a process of improving one's life cultivation. The things or abilities related to Feng Shui activities and the earth system that are cultivated during the practice are called Feng Shui techniques.